Hey, everyone out there who's clicked on this video. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing alright. I know none of you know who I am, but I'm trivial. I'm just another passing through internet native who was raised online instead of living his real life, and I'm just wishing for my childhood to return. Speaking of my childhood, I wanted to tell you all about something from my past that I really do hold dear to my heart, and that would be a Minecraft server known as Luxwander. I wanted to do a video on this specific part of my life for a very long time, but I never really got around to putting together a video. I do have a few clips that I've had. I took them to be panoramic shots and background footage for a video that I was talking about, which I'll be compiling together and including in a few certain sections. I also have some clips I recorded a few years ago of bringing my friends on a tour of some of my older builds, which I may or may not mute depending on the situation. I'm sorry if that's particularly invasive to your immersion in this video. Not all the footage and screenshots I provide in the video will be my own, and the creators will be credited accordingly in whatever corner I put the credits into. To whoever they are, I really do want to shout all of them out. We all grew up on this little server, and as I transition into adulthood, I want to just share some of my happier memories of growing up. For reference, I'm 19 years old now. Minecraft was originally released in its fall version of 1.0.0 when I was 6 years old in 2010. I'm sorry if that was actually a particular jab at a few of you. It sure is an age check to me too. I still remember my 13-year-old brother downloading the game onto our mom's little Acer laptop on that Friday after he'd picked him up from school. I remember being instantly hooked. That is, after an in-game night of terror because he told me about how monsters would hunt you at night. Being 6 years old and being in elementary school with no other commitments, I was able to play a lot. For a lot of years. I was way too young compared to my peers online. I was often banned for being immature and saying things that, in retrospect, a 6-year-old should not be saying. But hey, it's the internet. Don't shoot me. Minecraft was also the game that my mom's computer could run. It was actually the one game that it could really play aside from Roblox, so I found myself playing Minecraft when I wasn't on a console. When I was in either 4th or 5th grade, I somehow managed to stumble upon a server known as Luxwander. Now, I would be lying if I told you that I knew people there when I logged in, or that I remember how I got hooked on it, or what website I found it on, or however someone finds a Minecraft server. But I will tell you some of my most embarrassing stories from the era. Is that alright with you guys? Alright, great. Now, this was in 2014 or 2015 when I began playing. I can't remember anymore. Five Nights at Freddy's was a popular franchise at the time, and it still is, rightfully so, but this was during its original popularity phase with the first, second, and third games as releases. Minecraft and FNAF went together in the eyes of children like Bread and Butter, or Elsa and Spider-Man on YouTube Kids, or, well, I guess they really go together like Minecraft and FNAF. I'd say the two are worthy of their own example now, wouldn't you? Being children, a lot of us had incredible imaginations and we built a lot of really good things. One of those were multiple FNAF maps and multiple roleplay maps. Sometimes they were one and the same. Now, Luxwander was a server that was divided into many different servers, or I should say worlds. I may be misremembering certain parts and dates since I wasn't often on more than one or two of these little worlds that we had, but there was a survival world, a factions world, Hunger Games, Skyblock, and minigames. But, most importantly in my story, Majestic Creative. There was another creative world known as Noble Creative, but I consider that to kind of be the weird sibling of the worlds. No offense to anyone who played it, but it wasn't my cup of tea. Majestic Creative specifically was a plot world. For those who may or may not really know, plots are large, square, often completely flat terrains made of grass blocks made for a specific person in a server. They're usually set to around 250 by 250, 500 by 500, or even 1000 by 1000 blocks, and you're allowed to build whatever you want on them at any height or depth from what I know depending on the server. I'm not sure of the exact size of Luxwander's majestic plots, but they were very large. I remember being able to fit multiple builds of multiple different sizes and varieties on my own plot over the course of multiple years. Majestic was also where I met most of my friends on the server, including some people that I talk to this day. Majestic was also the most popular lobby on the server, as you might imagine. I still have memories of logging in and seeing over a dozen people running in and out of the water portal attempting to get in, constantly being met with the message, "This server is currently full," in the chat, while people asked others to leave so their friends could join. Everybody wanted in on the free build world because that's where all their friends would be. We would build multiple maps made for role-playing in. We had camps, high schools, FNAF fan maps that we ourselves thought of, often combining all the maps together into one mega pizzeria, and even some cruise ships that we never quite ever finished building, now that I look back on it. I myself was obsessed with ramming those cruise ships into icebergs like it was Titanic, but I guess I was a bit of a weird kid. I remember logging on every single day to meet my friends, who I now know were perfectly around my age or just slightly younger or older than me. It helped me feel kind of validated, knowing that people accepted me for who I was online, since I didn't really have a real life for a lot of my formative years. Most of my years were spent on a computer or on the Xbox, playing with random people online, and they were often adults. But that's just Gen Z, you know? We're the first generation out the door to live on smartphones, computers, iPads, Xboxes, and PlayStations. Social life has changed. Now, my friends and I all did the same things. We would meet up, we'd build, we'd mess around, and we'd make fun memories just messing around on Lux. I met people such as Marmon, Luigi Lover, Nightfall 02, Luna, Bucky, Cade, Mason, and Toy Freddy Fazbear. Even though I don't really talk to these people anymore, and don't often get along with a few of them nowadays, and I haven't spoken to them in years, I still cherish the memories that we made together, and I really do wish we could go back to that era. We were just stupid little kids, 10 or 11 years old, letting our imaginations run free while we waited for MatPat's next theory video on just how many FNAF pizzerias there are, or what the next random build of ours would be. Call me sentimental, but I miss those little days of just hopping on Minecraft, just hop on Minecraft. Luxwander was a home for me and a lot of others, and it really made Minecraft worth playing. You know, as fun as I make it sound, our particular crowd wasn't the most popular though. If you go to the Steam page of the Luxwander server, they tried reaching out into different games once, and that's why there's a whole Steam page. That's a long story. But if you go to the Steam page, you'll see a lot of old discussions from actually maybe a decade or so ago now about roleplays and how annoying they were to some people. Nobody's touched the Steam page in years, of course, except for a few comments saying hello or I forgot this was here. We'll get back to people forgetting about the server in a minute or two, but I want to continue my story before we get there. When I got older, a few of my friends and I, they already had Skype, but I was late to it. We used to hop onto Skype DMs and just called while just playing the game. We didn't really roleplay or do anything over voice, that's weird even for me, but we'd often just, talk about how life was going to our poor little 6th grade minds. How bad that 3-paragraph essay was, or how awful it would be to make a Greek shield project. I remember before I would have my own crappy little desktop that I'd used to play on, I would download Skype onto my tablet, and I would plug my headphones in and just pretend like I was talking to myself, so my parents wouldn't know I was secretly on call with my friends. I'm pretty sure that they knew I was doing that, but, they just kind of let me do it. I really do wish that I could be screen sharing some of my friends and I's conversations on Skype into the video, but my whole account was wiped in an update more than 4 years ago at this point. I only have one Skype contact and no conversations, and that's just really hurtful to say out loud, honestly. But over time, a lot of us just moved on to other games and projects. It was mostly life, seeing as a lot of us, like myself, were just kids playing a little video game, and kids don't always stick to the same thing forever. When I got an upgraded PC in 2017, I was able to branch out to other games, and I just kinda let Minecraft just sit around, taking up space on my hard drive, which I'm sure a lot of people did from the 2016 to 2019 era after the big revival of the game following its cringe era. Naturally, we just moved on and kinda left Luxwander in the past. For a very long time, Luxwander was left with very few players, barely managing 5 people per day, let alone per week. Only the most dedicated people were left alongside of the owner himself, but I couldn't tell you who those people were. Eventually this would build up over the span of multiple years, and the owner eventually said that Luxwander was shutting down. But this wasn't forever, this was only for a temporary time, and the server would return eventually, better than ever. He was bringing everybody back to the server and starting new, wiping the old world saves from every world out and starting anew. For a lot of us, this was good news. We would be back on Luxwander, maybe reconnecting with some old contacts, maybe playing the game again, you know? But for some of us, this was bad. All of our builds and all of our progress would be lost, gone forever. And Schuttle, the owner himself, said that there was no reasonable way to bring back the old Majestic plots due to their substantial size. I'm going to throw up on screen now a recent message that I sent to him in the Luxwander Discord server where I asked him just how big those plots were in total, the world, and he responded that they were several hundred gigabytes large. On December 21st of 2019, Luxwander officially reopened. There was a massive surge of players once again as everyone returned to revisit their childhoods. I'd reunited with a few of my friends on the Discord server, so we were able to get on together and, sort of reignite the spark that was once there together. We built a lot of things, including a high school map that you see today that I never really got around to finishing. I never could really get back on and complete it again. I just couldn't bring myself to build that whole thing again, knowing that it would never really be used. I stopped playing the whole server again, actually, after a while, as did more than a few people. But there was still a handful of people that played every day. I myself would join a few calls with about 5 or 6 people, and we just chat as I flew around their massive builds and admired their skill at the game. They'd often put their whole plots into mountains. They'd build the mountains themselves and build villages and windmills on top of them. It was a really gorgeous thing. In 2021, though, Schuttle put out a wonderful announcement. The old Majestic plots were returning for a temporary time in a new world that was opening known as Royal Creative. I wasn't around to view the original reopening of the plots, as I had the Discord server completely muted, including @everyone pings, but I was able to get on in May when they would be going away in December, and I was able to film the stuff that you've been seeing on the screen since I mentioned the original reopening. It was incredibly bittersweet to revisit some of those old builds again. It was happy, but it was kind of tragic. I got to run through my childhood again as a 17-year-old incoming senior in high school. Big deal over here. It was kind of like a last hurrah to my younger years. It was a quick glimpse at a beloved thing before I'd have to leave it behind. It felt like a movie ending, where someone has to let go of what they love in order to truly move on and be happy and save the day. Running through all those high school maps, and the FNAF maps, and the camp roleplays really made me remember that I was a really strange kid back then. And, well, I still kind of am now, but I don't really care. Luxwander helped me grow happy with who I am for now, and I can really thank them for being there during my formative years. I also rediscovered my strange addiction to creating secret torture dungeon rooms that I'm going to put on screen here. I'm going to leave that to you all to figure out. I have no idea why I decided to include one on almost every map, but I do remember building them and being embarrassed to show them to my friends. I never exactly recorded all the shots I wanted to get, and I never screenshot everything, which is why you'll see a lot of reused clips or sudden jumps around scenes. Maybe I just couldn't go back again. Maybe I was just not ready to go back to Luxwander again and just see nothing on my newer plot. Maybe I just wanted to turn around and cover my ears as Schuttle shot my childhood down like Old Yeller one last time. Maybe that was for the best, Maybe I'm just not the kind of person who just can witness that kind of thing. Maybe I just wasn't ready to say goodbye. Regardless, though, December of 2021 came to pass, and the Royal Creative plots were gone, and with it, all the memories of my childhood once again. And that's when I stopped playing the server again, and I think it really was for the last time this time. I promised that it was nothing personal against the staff members of the server, but there just wasn't really much left for me anymore. My friends had all moved on. Not many people still played the server, so I couldn't really make new friends. Hell, actually, as of recording, there's 0 people online, despite the hundreds of people that are in the Discord server. But most importantly, I think I'd moved on. Minecraft in general wasn't really my thing anymore, and, well, sure, I'd have the obligatory 2-week phase where my friends and I would buy a realm or use Minehut, and we'd get on, then abandon it, but I hadn't really been a consistent player of the game since the days of... it must have been 1.8 before the Bedrock Edition was ever really a thing. I like to think of Luxwander as just a little chapter in my book of life that I closed again, and this time, it felt like it would be for good. But just when I was ready to say goodbye and just let it sit there, on July 8th of 2023, at 10:01 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, my heart broke one more time and gave me the motivation to finally sit down here, 2:43 in the morning, and record this video. Luxwander Sunset and Final Farewells. Hello Wanderers, Luxwander officially opened on Saturday of December 18th, 2010, and will permanently close on Sunday, August 27th, 2023. I am sure there will be many questions about why, and to keep things simple, my only answer is I think it is just time. Over 100,000 people have come through Luxwander's doors over the last 13 years, and the grand majority of them will never see this message. I will never forget the community we have built over the years. To those who are still here and to those that have since moved on, a big thank you for all of your support and the many memories that we have made together. Thank you all again. This may be the end of Luxwander, but the friends and memories we have all made together will carry its legacy on. I truly hope Luxwander has made a positive impact and helped all of us in our times of need. I know it has done so for me. Thank you, Schuttle. Damn it. This server just really doesn't like to sit down and leave me alone. It likes coming up and just stabbing me in the chest, but I haven't cared about it since like 2016. Luxwander is closing down in just over a month as of my time of recording, and I don't like to say that out loud. It really hurts to say. Even now I can feel my throat tightening up, and I feel my eyes wanting to break down as the door finally closes for the last final time and ends a huge chapter in my life. I understand why Shuttle's ending it. God damn it, I do. But I don't believe Luxwander has been financially beneficial to him in multiple years. And he's probably been running it out of his pocket out of pure love for the people and friends he's met. If it were me in his position, I probably wouldn't have even reopened the server to begin with. I would have left this memory behind long ago and said damn it all to hell. But Shuttle's a better person than me, being able to keep our childhoods alive for as long as he can just out of pure love for the community. And for that, I think I'll always respect him, and he'll always have some sort of memory in my heart, even if him and I have never really shared a one-on-one conversation before, and I'm not even sure if he knows if I exist. In just over a month, it will be over. My Luxwander, my Minecraft memories, my old maps, my friends, it's all gone in a month. It's so hard to sit down and really put into words how exactly the server has made me feel, but let me try my best. Luxwander was like a home. It was one of the places on the internet that I could always go to, and I would always have a friend online. It was one of the places where my stupid childhood fantasies could be validated and even acted on occasionally when we'd build a map, because everyone else there was just as young and dumb as me. It was a place where I could build to my heart's content and enjoy just being a little kid playing a video game. I've met so many amazing people on this silly little Minecraft server, and I can't really understand why it hurts so bad to see a bunch of blocks disappear when I haven't really cared about it since before I graduated middle school. To all of my friends out there, I'd like to thank you all for just being a friend. We never had any deep and emotional bonding moments together, and I don't really think we could, considering we were like 11 years old. But did we really need to? We were stupid, we were dumb, and we were obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's and pretending to be people we weren't. I don't think it matters. To anyone who played the server as well, even if you weren't a Majestic player, I invite you to share your experiences with the server down below, about the community, about the world, about just anything. I'd like to let any other Wanderer see your own story, and see your own feelings about this little server that touched so many of our hearts just by being open and free to us. I'm interested in hearing everyone's stories, regardless of if I know you or not, or if you're active in the server or not, so please. I want to make this video a wonderful memorial for Luxwander. I suppose this is... I guess it's goodbye to a lot of you. And to you all, I really did enjoy the time we spent together, even if we never really spoke before and if we don't know each other. I'm sure we passed each other in that little hub world, or interacted on the same plot before when doing a high school roleplay. I really do wish we could get back on and just build some stupid city or camp or another high school. But I think Schuttle put it best when he told us that I think it's just time. Nothing lasts forever, but I think we can always cherish what was. I guess this is farewell to you wanderers. I'm NapFam, and I'm logging out one last time.